Hi, I'm Vic Bearcroft, and the other day I was visiting the Wildlife Heritage Foundation, which is a big cat sanctuary near Ashford in Kent. Amongst all the stunning cats they had there were two of the rarest cats in the world, Amur leopards. And the photograph of this one was taken as he was looking for a piece of meat on the side of the cage, but equally he could be looking up at a tree for a bit of prey or something like that. To begin with, I've sketched out in pencil on the velour the outline and the basic proportions of the leopard, but you can do this either by gridding or enlarging your photograph and using trace down paper. The next step, after getting your initial pencil sketch down on the velour paper, is to trace the outline in black pastel. Now the pastel I'm using are Conte hard pastels, and these are ideal for getting the details down. So let's begin with the important features, the eyes, the nose and the mouth and so on. And if you use the corners of the pastel, we can get nice sharp marks, stroking gently with the corner so we don't get anything too hard, too strong. Remember, you're dealing with fur in these animals, so you do need to try to recreate the fur by using these kind of strokes. It's important to remember as you're working around direction of fur growth. So not only the markings, placement of the markings, but the direction of the fur growth as well. And remember, when you're dealing with spots, don't paint every single individual one as a thick lump of spot. Each one is made up of tiny little black hairs, so treat them that way. Stroke the hairs as you go and build up the spots gradually. Don't try to rush them. They're important. And they're important because they also help to give form and shape to the leopard. So leopard spots are good for camouflage. They're also good for you as an artist to help recreate the shape. And then we'll give a little bit of an outline to the top of the head, again using very sketchy strokes, no hard lines. Around the nose, this nice sort of Roman nose that the leopard has, and just outline the nose at this stage, don't try to fill it in, just get that little sidewards heart shape of the nose there. Again, the markings down the side of the nose are important, as are these whisker follicles. These will help to get the shape of the muzzle correctly. So get a nice curve on those as you sketch them down. And then we have this lovely dark mass underneath the top lip, coming down into the chin. Leopards and tigers generally have this dark mass coming down into the chin. For you, it helps to create the form and the shape of the mouth. A few little dark flecks in the chin itself. Don't bother with this outline of the chin at this stage. We want that to be pure white at the end, so we'll leave that for now. Just take your time in getting the spots placed correctly. Vary the sizes, vary the shapes, and it'll look more natural at the end as a result. Notice where the fur starts to fold on itself, these spots will get slightly narrower. And then we can just put a little tip of fur on the ear that's away from us and give a slightly stronger line to the ear facing us. A little bit of shadow inside the ear. There's quite a dark shadow behind the ear, so we'll just sketch that in quite lightly at this stage. We don't want a heavy shadow, we want quite a light shadow there. Remember, photos are there for reference, you don't have to slavishly copy them. So don't try to put a too strong shadow behind the ear, otherwise it will look quite false. And then as we work down, again it's just a case of sketching those spots in. Keep an eye on the photograph at all times, so you don't lose your way. It's quite easy to lose your way when you're painting spots and stripes. So try to keep one eye on the photograph and one eye on your painting. Get longer and thicker strokes as we come down into the neck, because here it's quite short on the head and the side of the face, but it gets quite thick and shaggy almost as we come down the back and the neck. The Amur leopards do have quite thick fur because they live in a cold climate, generally speaking. So we need to try and replicate this thick, shaggy fur with nice, bold, longer strokes. Notice the direction as well. As it comes near the chest, it starts to come out this way. The fur takes a turn coming out of the chest. All these strokes will give you a realistic form for the shape of the leopard. You can fade these spots out as you work down, so let the painting just fade out. Just check everything's there. We'll maybe give a little soft line for the back so you can see where his back ends and the paper begins. And that should be enough of an outline at this stage. Now that we've finished our black outlining stage, the next step is to add some colour to the painting. So what we're going to do is do an underpainting using Ashby soft pastels. These pastels are perfect for velour paper because they're not too soft. And what we need to do is look at the dark, medium and light tones in the subject. Now the paper we've chosen is sand coloured paper, so this works very well for our medium tone. For the dark tone I'm going to use this raw sienna, and gently stroking around, we'll start with the base of the ear where it's quite dark, following the direction of fur as before, and this time we can gently rub it in with our finger just to soften the effect even further. It gives us a nice fur-like texture. Then we can move into the face and leaving some gaps here and there. All we're looking for in the reference photo is the darker elements of the fur along the nose, just above the eye. By leaving some gaps in the painting, we'll let that sand coloured paper work extremely well for our medium tone. And then we can stroke it down the neck. Again, imagine you're stroking the animal as you're working. So nice soft strokes, nothing too heavy, and then you'll get a nice soft realistic fur texture at the end. Come down the back of the neck from inside the shadow, and then notice the way we're changing the angles, so we're coming outwards into the chest as we did before with the black outlining. Again, nice gentle rub, and then along the back kind of comes down and flicks up a little bit here and there. So just work, it doesn't matter if you go over the black here and there, so work around the black spots in between them. Let everything kind of join together. Remember, this fur texture it's like a carpet, so that everything blends together. There's no separate brown, dark brown, lighter areas. They're all joined together. That gives us a nice effect, just adding that raw sienna to the sand coloured paper. For the lighter tone, I'm going to use again an Ashby soft pastel. This time it's a Naples yellow. There are some lighter, almost ivory colours in the fur, so the Naples yellow is ideal for this colour. So look for the real light elements in the fur. So those that appear to be creamy white, those are the ones, the areas where we're looking to put the Naples yellow. What I'm not going to do is the areas that are pure white. We'll leave those till last because we want to retain the crispness of that pure white at the end of the painting. So just the ivory yellowy colours in the fur, that's all we need to bother about. Again, blend it all together. What won't happen on velour paper is smudging, so you don't have to be afraid of smudging the painting at all. This is just simply a case of pushing the pastel into the paper and giving it a nice soft effect. So that's our three tones for the underpainting completed. Having completed our underpainting, what we need to do now is start focusing on some of the details. And the important details for any kind of portrait are going to be the eyes, the nose and the mouth. So let's look at the eyes. Now, although they're not too clear on the photograph, they are basically a greeny yellow colour. So we'll start off with our mid-tone green, again using the hard Conte pastel. And what we need to do first of all is just gently stroke in a base colour of green as a start. Keep it quite soft, keep it quite light, because there is a lot of light in this eye.